We got a 3S that's gonna rip through it. Yeah, hear that chassis is bottoming out. Look at that. Oh man. It's the Vorteks 4x4, the latest Arrma to get the 223S BLX treatment. So that means the Fury sent in Vorteks, and I heard the Typhon now have the 223S BLX system and the DSC, which is their dynamic stability control, makes driving a little bit easier. And I keep getting the question, are they gonna do it for the Gorgon? The answer is, I don't know, but I'm gonna take this Gorgon that's missing its motor, and I'm gonna take the 223S system out of the Fury, throw it in there to show you guys running it. But first, we need to check out this new truck. The big deal with the new wave of releases from Arrma is the 223S brushless system inside. You could run a 2S pack or a 3S pack, and with that, you could either do 35 miles an hour out of the box on that 2S pack, or you could possibly hit 50 miles an hour with a 3S pack. So the power swap isn't the only big deal with the new Vorteks. Obviously, they got a new graphics package on them, different colors, and they have a new body mounting setup on it. So no more body clips like the previous version. You have these push buttons on the front and in the back. Actually, the fuel cell inlets is the push button. And once you push down on them, it releases an inner spring clip and the body pops right off, nice and easy. Super clean and something that a lot of Arrma fans have been asking for. And under the hood looks pretty similar to the previous version of the Vorteks 4x4, but something's missing and there's some things that have been added. First up though, I want to tell you what you need to really know about this. It's a 110 scale 4-wheel drive off-road stadium truck, so it's got stadium truck style tires on it. Love these Katana tires from Arrma. Nice low profile lug on it that could shred dirt, and it's actually a lot of fun on asphalt. The tires bolted to an independent suspension setup. Love the chunky arms that Arrma puts on their cars, those heavy duty steering knuckles and caster blocks on the outside, and it even has adjustable tie rods with metal pivot balls inside the ends. And then you have oil-filled coilover shocks. They've got little dust protectors on the front. Nice plush suspension feel like always from Arrma. A little bit longer travel of a shock in the rear, heavy-duty hubs. And they even have these red anodized aluminum hinge pin plates, both front and rear, so when you're bashing, it doesn't rip those pins out of the chassis. The chassis itself is a molded composite, and they have a lot of honeycomb bracing on the inside just to help make it really stable. And then I like this, they've added these taller mud guards on the side to help prevent dirt and debris from getting inside that chassis and weighing things down or just causing a lot of problems for cleanup. The shock towers and gear cases are integrated into the chassis, and it's got a dual bell crank steering setup, and actually I noticed that they have ball bearings in those cranks. Never noticed that before. The battery tray area is a little bit limited. You're gonna be able to fit a 5,000 milliamp pack in there, both 2 and 3S. It uses these Velcro straps to secure the battery, and just so you guys know, there's this little channel in this back strap here. This is where the wires run through under it for the battery, and that's where the connector actually gets secured so it's not bouncing around inside the chassis. Speaking of wires bouncing around, they added these little wire clips so the motor wires don't bounce around. And right here is the receiver box that doesn't have a receiver in it anymore. It is part of the steering servo mount, but I wish they got rid of that and dropped this ESC down a little bit lower. The 4-wheel drive system has seal ball bearings throughout, so you can go through the mud and stuff. It still has a front and rear gear differential, metal gears on the inside. The ring gear is a larger composite gear, but it's got a coarse tooth to it. And then the bevel pinions go into the center shaft. Those are metal. It's got sliders to the wheels. Those are really heavy duty looking. And then this is a big change for the truck. In the center now, we have a center differential. Before we had a slipper clutch. This is going to distribute the power throughout the truck, make it much more usable. A lot easier to control the truck when you're doing stunts. Got to handle through the rough really well. And it's actually easy to access if you need to do maintenance. You pull out this center shaft. It's a sliding shaft that's spring loaded. Screws on the bottom. You got to remove the electronics too, but it'll come out in one piece. And then you'll find inside that center differential now has a cast cup to it, cast metal cup, and it's filled with a heavy oil from the factory. Finally, guys, we don't have to change that. I wound up slamming the Fury down to the ground using some suspension limiters inside the shocks, trying to get this thing up to 50 miles an hour, but I was only able to hit 45. But I think this power system is gonna be a lot of fun inside this Gorgon. Let's start the swap.
And that leads us to the electronics that they installed in the Vorteks. So it has their new Spectrum 223S system. It is an 80 amp speaking controller, and it is one of those 2-in-1 units. So that means it's running the SLT protocol and matched up to the SLT3 radio system that comes with it. Behind the speaking controller is the 3100 kV Spectrum motor. It's wrapped in a big heatsink, and it's got a cooling fan on top. The ESC also has a cooling fan and an IC5 connector, so when you're searching for a battery pack, make sure you find something that's compatible. And then up front, it's got the 662 steering servo, high torque servo, waterproof, and most importantly, metal gears. The only drawback to this setup is the 2-in-1 system that they have in here. It's only going to bind to an SLT protocol radio system, and those are quite limited right now. Let's head off to run this truck, and I'm bringing the converted Gorgon with me.
Check this spot out, guys. Isn't this absolutely awesome? New spot to test RC cars. Quick shout out to my buddy Matt that told me about this spot. Man, this is gonna be really cool. And we're gonna kick things off with the Vorteks here. Just so many cool options for me to jump stuff off of. Look at this. So right now I'm just rocking a 2S battery pack in the truck, and this surface is pretty slick. So the rear end's kicking out a little bit, but that DSC is actually kicking in, keeping things under control. Look at this, just blasting through this thing. That's full throttle right there on 2S. I'm having fun with this truck. I know this is a cool spot, but this truck is cool too, man. It's been taking some hard hits on this concrete. But this is what Arrma is all about. Hitting these skate parks up, killer bash sessions. And this truck is just impressive. Cool little drop-off spots here. It's a really windy day. Hopefully it's not killing the mic. Oh, right into the railing. Not a problem for an Arrma, right guys? This thing is sick. You know, I liked the Vorteks before, the 3S version I tested. But man, this one is really usable for anyone getting into it. All the way up to pros, I think. I don't mind that 2-in-1 system. I don't mind rocking, one of these radio systems. When you're having this much fun, why worry about that stuff? A lot of punch out of this system, plenty of steering. I do have the DSC enabled. Usually I like to shut it off, but the surface is pretty slick and it's just working out perfect here. You know what, now's a good time to show you guys the Gorgon with the 223S system. Oh, it's got some rip to it. And this is just a 2S pack. You can hear the slipper whining a little bit. Guess that'll have to be tightened up at some point. I didn't bring any tools with me though. Whoa. Man, it's got some rip. Good thing I put that wheelie bar on. Stole that off my Creighton 4S. Yeah, so already I know that a Gorgon 223S needs to happen. If you think it needs to happen, put it in the comments section below. Hopefully the guys at Arrma see it. I think we need to bring it over to that clamshell. Oh, this thing just money here. Up into the circle. Yeah, whipping through that. This thing is so cool now. So much power and usable power. Just on 2S. Look at this thing. Oh, man. Absolutely love it now. Diffs out a little bit, no big deal. Whoa, did you hear it bottom out through that? Oh, so psyched about this. Yeah. Man, absolutely awesome. This needs to happen. This setup right here. All right, guys, now I got the 3S pack in here. A little more power, a little more speed. Oh yeah, I can already tell it's got more power. Oh man. Just incredible how stable this is. Let's launch it out of here. I can't even see where it is. So much control. Motoring on that. Yeah, it's got way too much power now. Although that center diff is working, I think the front and rear diffs need a little bit of oil work just for these 3S packs. Oh, crash. Well, since we're down here, we're gonna rip through the... What am I supposed to call this circle here? It needs like death circle or something. We got a 3S that's gonna rip through it. Yeah, you hear that chassis is bottoming out. Look at that. Oh man. I know I'm saying oh man a lot, but what else do you say? Sick, epic? This truck is insane here. Oh, body popped up. That's the first time that's happened. Reset. Man, I really want to send this thing, but I haven't speed tested yet. And I think we got to send it, guys. I'm trying to figure out where I need to launch it from. I think this is probably the safest bet this way. Here we go. Oh, nailed it. This could be bad, but I'm going to do it. I know I shouldn't do it, but I'm going to do it. Oh, hard hit. Landed it, though. Still going. Arrma tough. Time to get a quick speed test in. I got the GNSS in there and a freshly charged 2S pack. Here we go, guys. Nice takeoff. Looking good. Just gotta do a flyby on the way back. I think I'm gonna be able to hopefully hit 50 in this lot, but let's see if it does the 35 on the 2S pack. Maybe even a little more. So we got 32. S pack going in. Get this fired up. And here we go. We got more power now. Definitely wanted to pull the front wheels up. Hopefully we can get some top speed here in this lot. Things moving. Stop. 48. So I'm a little off of my speeds here on this. I mean, it's just shy. We'll do a backup run. You can get on the power quick with this one. Look at that beast. 48 again.
That was an absolutely epic day at the new skate park. That's going to be a great spot for future videos. In fact, I'm already thinking of building up my Arrma fire team to bring back and launch out of some of those bowls. It's got to be pretty wild, but today we're talking about the Vorteks 223S, and this truck was killer there. Sorry, didn't get it into the dirt, but guys, that park showed you how tough this truck is. Launching off of some of those bumps and jumps, flat landing on concrete, cartwheeling. This thing just took the hits, kept on going. There's some battle scars here. We've got scrapes and scratches on the body. The screws are worn down. The skids, those are showing signs of wear from going through that vertical dome. That was absolutely awesome. The change of adding the center diff to the truck makes it much more drivable. I like the new body clip system, but once in a while the clip would hang up and I'd find myself kind of pulling on the body, trying to get it off, and it did pop out once on me, but overall, it looks a lot better without the body clips. And then it comes down to the 223S system itself. I like the addition of it to this truck because it makes it so usable for anyone getting into the hobby and really growing into it. So you get started by, eliminating the throttle switch, and you've got the DSC control to help you out with stability. You run it on 2S, and it makes it a really easy truck to drive. And then when you get used to it, you're ready to ramp up. You throw the 3S pack in there, you throw the radio setting up to 100, you got full throttle, and you get some serious speed. The truck is just super usable, very capable, very durable, a great release from Arrma. Now, I didn't hit the top speeds that they're advertising with this. I was slightly off, but it was still pretty fast. And after speed testing it, I actually just started ripping on the truck up and down the parking lot, full throttle, full brake, just to build up the heat into the system, make sure it didn't shut down on me. And I went through the whole battery pack without an issue. Afterwards, the motor was pretty hot, over 200 degrees. So if you're gonna do something similar, you're definitely gonna have to let it cool down before you hit the next pack. But overall, pretty impressed with this. If you're looking for one, I'll have links for it in the video description below, or you can head up to your local hobby shop.